Today's story comes right out of the depths of the ocean. So fairly warned be thee, says I. Hello, Wranglers. Welcome back. Okay, we got a good story for you today, and it is a oceanic tale. This is the tale. This is the case of Bloop, Bloop, Bloop. Now you're saying, what the hell's Bloop? Bloop is a noise that was picked up by NOAA, National well, I don't know what it stands for. Hang on, let me look. Um, put these damn things on. It was picked up by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, in 1997. And it's been speculated on for quite a while. And what it sounds like, and what NOAA initially said, was they heard this sound that traveled over 3,000 miles, possibly one of the loudest sounds ever recorded in the ocean. And it was not consistent with, the sound was not a consistent sound with tectonic movement, meaning plates of the earth shifting, or ice flows, or cryonic movement of any of that. This is what they initially said. It wasn't consistent. That sound profile was not consistent with anything geographic. It was more biological, is what they said. So something out there, according to NOAA initially, made something biological, made this gigantic sound that traveled over 3,000 miles at ultra low frequencies. And if you want to hear Bloop, what the sound sounds like, first of all, I'm going to tell you to go to Wikipedia and look it up. You'll find it out there on Wikipedia, and they have a recording of the sound. Okay. So anyway, as the years passed and people started studying Bloop, the natural thing happened. Okay, scientists weighed in and said, no, it is tectonic or geographic. It's a piece of an ice floe breaking off. In fact, they identified approximately where they thought it happened, and it's down here on Antarctica in this little horn. They thought part of that ice shelf broke off and made the bloop noise. And okay, so that's the conventional standing theory right now, and the scientists are going to swear up and down right now that that's what it is, because one thing, when you're a scientist and you're in academia, you can't say anything that's not conventional without losing your career, basically. So they did that, and excuse me, but this is what they're claiming it is. And instead of the gigantic creature that could have made this noise, now let's talk a little bit about whatever this creature could have been. Now, what it's when they basically there's been some mock-ups and some studies of what could have made a noise this loud, and let me show you what the kind of pared down version of this thing looks like. This is what the speculative animal that caused Bloop. See, Bloop, speculative animal compared to a human. Okay, you see the little human down here near the bottom of that graphic. He's 1.7 meters tall. Then you see the Bloop animal, and it's about 76 meters long. Now that would be. Let me see. Let's do some math because it's fun, and nothing is as good on content as just doing math problems. Okay, so 76 times 3. About. I just figured it. Okay, it's about almost 300 feet long. Okay, this thing that would have made the bloop noise. Okay, unless I did my math wrong, which I could have. So this is what a speculative bloop making animal would have looked like. And look at that! Look at that mouth, man. That thing could swallow. That thing could pretty much swallow a yacht if it felt like it. Okay. So this is what the speculative bloop animal came to sound like. Now, the scientific community still maintains the ice shelf type of thing. However, they're the ice quake origin and a large cryo system known as an ice quake. They think it could be an ice quake that caused this, and that's a possibility. It's absolutely a possibility. I'm not saying it's not, because it is a possibility. Ice quake, ice calving, basically ice breaking off, and then ice, rubbing along the two hunks of ice rubbing against each other, giant pieces of ice, obviously. and all of that kind of thing. Now, the animal origin, there's a man named David Woolman. He did an interview. We see Noah's Christopher Fox interviewed David Woolman for an article in the New Scientist. Did not believe the origin was man-made, such as a submarine or a bomb, nor familiar with geological events such as a volcano or earthquake. Fox stated that while the audio profile of Bloop does resemble that of a living creature, the source was a mystery because it would be far more powerful than the calls made by any animal on Earth. And Woolman states it in the article that Fox initially speculated Bloop to be ice calving in Antarctica. But this is David Wolf, a scientist named David Woolman. Later came to believe the sound would be that of a large animal. And he says for Fox's hunch that the nickname Bloop is most likely from some sort of large animal, and this thing basically was so large it was making a sound that traveled 3,000 miles. Now, we don't know any creature that can do that, okay? Now, this is one of the other, I would say, scientific possibilities of Bloop, okay, occurring would be a big creature. We don't know it's all under the ocean yet. Okay, we really don't. We've seen some evidence of things down there, like dead whales with sucker marks on them the size of hubcaps, which would mean a squid of tremendous size killed them, and that sort of thing. We've seen boats attacked by things they couldn't understand, like entire propeller screws and all that torn to pieces by a creature in leaving marks on the boat. So we know my point is we know there's big stuff down there. Okay, now here's the supernatural fun part of this. Let me show you something here. Okay. There's a guy named H.P. Lovecraft, and he's responsible for so much of our horror nowadays. He inspired Stephen King. He inspires Sam Raimi. The movie The Mist, if you've seen it, is very Lovecraftian, and they make no bones about referring to Love. Not, I should say referring to him, but causing tribute to what's the word I'm thinking of? Paying tribute to Lovecraft in these movies. The true crime thing, where I think it was Woody Harrelson and Matthew Modine were chasing a killer. The killer turned out to be the King in Yellow, another creature from Lovecraft. Now, let me show you here. You can see on the graphic there's the Bloop, okay, very far away from that ice shelf that we talked about earlier. It's quite a big, kind of stretch to say that this ice shelf causes the sound over here. Okay, now we have what's Rayla, okay, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, R'lyeh or whatever. R'lyeh is the city of the dead in Lovecraft's lore. It's under the water, and it's inhabited by a creature called Cthulhu. Dead Cthulhu lies dreaming. Cthulhu is a gigantic monster that basically was worshipped by in one of the stories of Lovecraft. And let me show you Cthulhu. Cthulhu lives right here at R'lyeh, very near the Bloop, and here's Cthulhu, giant squid dragon looking thing, and you can see his size and all that. Anyway, is it a coincidence that the Bloop occurred very near where Cthulhu sleeps and dreams, and his dead Cthulhu sleeps in his dreams, as they refer to him? These things are have somewhat undead properties, but there's tremendous amount of creatures in Lovecraft's myths. Look them up. There's Nyarlathotep, who is actually Randall Flagg in The Stand, by Stephen King's admission. There's Yog-Sothoth, who's one of the main characters. All these different weird names for these things: Cthulhu, Yog-Sothoth, Hastur, the King in Yellow. All of these very strange, very bizarre creatures that inhabit Lovecraft's universe. But this is Cthulhu, and he was very near where Bloop occurred. Okay, so is the supernatural? Did Lovecraft know something we didn't? Did Cthulhu wake up and roll over and fart or something, or whatever Cthulhu's do? I don't know. Okay, most likely it was ice floor or a bigger conventional creature. I doubt it was this Cthulhu squid dragon thing, which would herald the end of the earth. But so anyway, that's the story of Bloop, and it's a very interesting story. And I encourage you to even look into it more. They got more scientific stuff on it, and the Wikipedia page I suggested about Bloop, they're gonna have the sound that the thing made, so you can hear it yourself. And there's lots of fun speculation about this thing, but of course the mainstream scientist is going to say it's a piece of ice falling off because that's safe. That's not challenging. That's not even just challenging as an unknown creature that we haven't found yet. And it's definitely not as challenging as an unknown supernatural creature that we haven't found yet. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's Bloop lesson. And I would encourage you to contribute to my Patreon and like and subscribe. Patreon hasn't got a whole lot there. It's just got one level yet. It's just kind of a tip jar type of deal. And so I appreciate that so I can keep making these videos. But I just want to leave you with this. It's like, beware where you go out there on the depths because you never know what's down there. And you never know what's above you. Out there in the ocean, you can get lost very easy. And there's things that would make Satan himself quiver in his own hooves. So, until next time, Wranglers, be safe, keep the wind at your back.